Welcome back everyone to Piney Plays a Brawler, where last time we managed to help to resolve a council dispute with the Reeve, but I think I'll leave that storyline for now and continue on with the epic, seeing how I'm a little bit of above level for the area at the moment, and I seem to be killing some of the foes ridiculously fast.
I cannot find Nona. It is as if she just vanished.
We won't know for certain if those uruks have been slain until we find them for ourselves, Pine Punch. But we can't leave yet. I have looked all around Eomer, but I cannot find Nona. It is as if she just vanished. Well, she did leave in a hurry.
Horn has gone looking for her, but when he last came this way, he had found nothing yet.
Did Nona tell you anything that might give us an idea of where she may have gone? Or do you think she has fallen into trouble of some kind? The men of Rohan do not look kindly upon her people. You should ask the people of Eomer if they have seen her, and I will do the same. I don't know if they will tell me anything, but we cannot let her disappearance go without investigation. Horn is distraught, as you might expect him to be. He has grown fond of our fiery companion. You do not need elf eyes to see that. Well, yes, there is that. And then, let us see about the vanishing ghost. Now, who would be willing to tell us anything about it? Because I suspect that most people here in Rohan aren't exactly friends of Dunlading's. Perhaps this tower guard knows something. Hello there, have you seen a Dunlading woman about? Well, there's Horn down there.
I have not seen the Dunlending anywhere.
This is a man out. There is a man out in the cliffs. Yeah, I saw him. It may be Horn, but I cannot see his features from here. I've not seen the Dunlading woman. Alright, well. So I'm not the only one who noticed that Horn is standing out there. Perhaps the gate guard knows something?
I've not seen the Dunlending, but Horn has gone out to the cliffs.
Yes, Horn may be upset about something. Of course, he would know who Horn is. That's right, because Horn is the Reeve's son. So let's head out to the cliffs then and find out if Horn has seen anything. Hello?
She is gone. She is really gone.
Horn holds Nona's sword in his hands and sees to see nothing but the lonely weapon. I found it here in the Stone's Pine Punch, but why would she leave it? You peer out over the edge to the rushing river that has cruelly claimed so many maidens before their times. Horn follows my gaze with his eyes. No, Pine Punch. She did not jump into the Entwash. I don't believe it. She left us for some reason, and she left this sword here so that I could find it. But why leave us? Why leave me? I will take her brother's sword, and I will keep it for her until she returns. She will return, Pine Punch. I will not wield Wadu's blade, but I will hold on to it for Nona. Tell Corridon that Nona has left us, but that she will return. Her path simply does not follow ours for the moment. Well, alright, if that's what you want. It appears that Nona has decided to go away for a while.
I think Nona will return in time, but I do not know when.
Nona is indeed fine, and will return to us when she has resolved a few things in her mind. I know now why she's left, and why she did not bring her brother's sword with her. For love. You have seen the way the people of Rohan look at her, with fear and with distrust. She's not one of them. Despite Horn's banishment to stand guard, he is still much more of Rohan than she will ever be. So too has she seen the damage that love can do. What would learning of Princess Eldred's death do to Eomer, his betrothed? Nona grew too fond of Horn, over too quick a time, to lose him in battle and death. Perhaps she left the shield herself from growing even more attached to him. Perhaps she simply needs time to resolve her feelings. I think that she will return, but I don't know when. We must be kind to Horn in the meantime. He will feel his loss sharply, I think. Ooh, an incomparable tracery, but of course, most likely it's going to be one that I already have.
Horn will need to master his grief if we are to continue. We cannot allow this distraction to steer us away from our true purpose. Nona will return. I am certain of it.
Let's see what we get for this. We get innate strength, damage / threat. Whoop-de-doo. Well, not much on that matter. I can check that out later. Oh, there is a note concerning updates to the Brawler, because we had an update recently which changed several of our skills here, including Weather Blows, which now no longer has a healing ability. Oh, that's gonna hurt. With that in mind, I think I'm gonna make a little adjustment for my future path. So far I've been putting everything into Maelstrom, into Redline, and a couple of things into Fundament here. I think I'm going to put in a few things into Fulcrum so I can get Joy of Battle Heal, and also Bracing Guard. But that means 2 points per item when anything I put into there. So let's try it and see how it works. Let's put a little bit of addition into the Vitality for now to get my morale up a little bit. Now with that, what do you say, Corden?
Eomer has returned from his ride north.
As the brief promised, Eomer has returned from his ride. He's outside the mead hall. Introduce yourself to him and see what he knows about the uruks that we pursue. Alright? Well then, if Eomer was going after those uruks, then perhaps he'll know something about them. Hello there, sir.
I am pleased to make your acquaintance, my friend.
And am I not wrong in my guess that you are one of the race of halflings called hobbits? What? Someone's heard of hobbits? Yes. Yours is the second party that I have encountered who sought the uruks, my punch, and it was they who told me of hobbits. To you I say what I said to them. The uruks have been destroyed, and I saw no sign of any other living thing at the site. The man was called Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and his companions were a dwarf, Gimli, glowing sun, and an elf called Legolas. You're not one of the halflings that he sought, are you? A shame. They were distraught at their loss. Speak to my man Eothane if you would hear more about the travelers or their prey. Alright?
If Eomer, my commander, wishes me to answer your questions, I will do so.
As what you will, and hear my answer. Ask what you will and hear my answers. Whether they give you joy or sadness is no concern of mine. Wonderful. So he has 5 questions. What can you tell me about the uruks? Eomer rode north without the king's leave to hunt these uruks. Scouts had reported of them coming down out of the east wall from days before, and he caught up with them on the very edge of Fangorn. They were thoroughly and utterly destroyed, and we saw no sign of the friends that Aragorn or his companions sought. Were there any other useful questions here? Okay, tell me about the encounter. Yes, they seemed to spring out of the grass as if from nowhere. Some elvish magic, I thought, and indeed one of them was an elf. A dwarf and a man there was also, but no man of Rohan was he. They hunted orcs in Theoden King's lands, and not at his command. Indeed, even Eomer, my captain, hunts orcs without leave of the king, but he is the king's own kin, and will rule in Rohan some day. These others made bold claims, but I do not know the truth of them. Eomer let them go, that they might seek their lost companions, but only on condition that they return and present themselves to the king of Aedoras. This they swore to do. Right, so I have to see the king of Aedoras at some point, but they know then that Prince Theodred is dead. Because that's the only reason why they could say that Eomer will rule someday, because Theodred was the heir. So it looks like knowledge of Theodred's death is common, at least amongst the rulers of Rohan. Right, anyway, what do you say about that?
The 3 hunters lived when I left them.
No uruks escaped the circle of my riders, but it is possible that your friends may have escaped before we closed in. It is a small chance, but it is what Aragorn hoped for, and perhaps his hope was more than hope, and there is some truth to it. Perhaps, but Eomer, Eomund's son, put stock in cold steel and sunlight on the plains. Without some unlikely Dwemercraft, I fear the halfling friends Aragorn sought met a sad end. The 3 hunters, however, lived when I left them. Yeah, right.
My men caught up with the uruks just outside the eaves of Fangorn.
We encountered them just at the eaves of Fangorn, to the northwest. The Uruk's leader, a fierce Uruk whose name seemed to have been Ugluk, if the panicked words of his fellows can be trusted, dismounted and fought me blade to blade. I proved the better swordsman, to the pride of Eomer and the shame of whatever disgusting lot claimed to sire Ugluk. Ride to the site and look for signs of your missing friends, or Aragorn and his 2 companions. If my men and I are still here when you return, you're welcome to ride us with us south to Aedoras. Okay, so we must go and look at what happened to Ugluk. I must admit that this place looks a bit hard to miss. Uruks here that are burnt. Ugluk. You stare at the defeated Ugluk and wonder if Boromir rests comfortably from wherever he is and watching, now that the leader of the band that set upon him is no more. Let's see if we can find any clues here as to what happened. Here's some confused footprints. Are the footprints confused, or am I confused at looking at them? You find a great deal of footprints in the chaos that seem to go nowhere. Well, there is that. How about over here? More confused footprints. More, alright. And any more confused footprints? Oh, that's the corpse of Ugluk. That's the set I've already looked at. Oh, there's a set over here. I missed those. I'm confused. You find a great deal of footprints in the chaos, yes. Well, maybe Corridon knows something.
What does Horn think? Will he dare the forest of Fangorn?
You say that some of the tracks lead toward Fangorn? They're likely not those of the halflings, for Eomer was certain that no one left the site of the battle without his knowledge. They may then be tracks of Aragorn, Legolas, or Gimli. What brought them towards Fangorn? What does Horn think? Will he dare the forest of Fangorn? I will go in gladly, but he has expressed worry about such places before. Well, yes. Well, what do you say about that, Horn?
I see how Corridon looks at me. He thinks I fear to go into Fangorn.
I went into another ill-omened wood with you, Punch, not long ago. Do you remember? There I took a grievous wound, an injury from which I will never recover, nor would I wish to heal that hurt. I will follow you into Fangor. What can be done to me that I should fear? Well,
If we cannot help our friends directly, let us help them indirectly.
my father told me that his men had heard orc axes beneath the eaves of Fangor. There must be a camp of the creatures somewhere to the north of here amongst the trees. That is the way the tracks go, are they not? We should go to the camp of the orcs and slay them. While we do, let us keep our eyes open for your friends. If we cannot help them directly, perhaps this will help them in an indirect fashion. Alright, very well. Let's go beneath the eaves of Fangorn and defeat orcs there. What could possibly go wrong? Well, for 8 of the orcs, plenty. I appear to have found some sort of a camp up here. And I'm going to guess that's a camp of orcs. Yes, that looks like an orc. One down, 7 more to go, at least. Because usually you wind up killing more than required. But they're going down pretty quickly, so at least we could tell that. They haven't nerfed the ability of a brawler to do damage. It's just their ability to stay alive that they seem to be fiddling with by taking away the healing skill. 6. How about this? 7. Oh yeah, one of the skills that I was talking about back when we first started Brawler were this follow me skill, which used to be attack faster in there, and by the icon and by the name, it always seemed to me more of a running skill or something like this. One of the changes they did make was that it is now a run speed skill. It's 15 seconds at plus 20%, and based on what it's saying here, it looks like it also works in combat, since it's a short duration one. I guess it's not as much of a problem that if it gives you a little bit of a boost in combat. So let's charge into the foes, I think is what it was intended to represent. Did I hear something? Oh. An ent. What are these small creatures that come amongst the trees? So many. So many. Vroom. But Gandalf saw to the elf, the man, and the dwarf. Treebeard has his guests, and others come amongst the trees. Baldbark was told not to let others disturb the meetings. Vroom, boom, broom. You are like Treebeard's guests, so small. Vroom. You should leave. It is not time for you. Vroom. Now, that sentence about being like Treebeard's guests, it seems to me that you're only going to get that if you are a hobbit. But I guess he could say you're like, either like Aragorn or Gimli or Legolas if you were of another one of the races. I suppose that'll fit into there. But that means that's the best clues and that we have of the fate of Merry and Pippin. Because we will know that the hobbits are Treebeard's guests because of what he said. Now he might say, he does mention the guests otherwise. Well, let's go and speak with Gordon. Should I tell him that Merry and Pippin are being taken care of by the Ents?
I did not dare to hope the tree herders still walked in Middle-earth.
It is a day of wonders, Pine Punch. Mithrandir lives, as you said, and he's returned to where he must be needed. A kingdom beset on all sides by danger. If Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are not safe with Mithrandir, they will not be safe anywhere. And the second wonder, I did not dare to hope that the tree herders still walked in Middle-earth, but today I have met an Ent, heard his speech, and was told in no uncertain terms that I wasn't welcome. What a delight! Asked to leave the forest by an Ent. Did he say that his name was Baldbark? Then I will call him Rudrif in the language of my people, and I will keep this encounter near to my heart. Okay. Whatever. I suppose. Oh, I want the heavy armor version. Yes, that seems to be a bit of an upgrade.
Let us return to Eoworth and see if Eomer remains there with his men.
Ruth's words were reassuring, were they not? He told us in his way that Merry and Pippin were safely in the hands of Treebeard, who can only be an Ent, and the man, dwarf, and elf of which he spoke must be Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas. If they are not in the presence of Mithrandir, surely we need worry about them no longer. Let us return to Eoworth and see Eomer remains there with his men. Horn wished to be off immediately. We should speak with him when we are back in Eoworth. Alright. What will you find in Eoworth? I guess we have to find that out in the next episode of Piney Plays the Brawler.